Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and an old dirt road. Are you ready to go?
All right, sounds good.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us on this special episode of Live Music Nation podcast. I'm your host, Jake Gill. Today we're with Sean Paul of the Intrigue Theater. Sean Paul, thank you for joining us. How are you?
My pleasure, Jake. How are you?
Good, good. How's your drive?
It's fantastic. Yes, it's
Good.
perfect weather right now.
Awesome. Sean, give us a little background on you. Where'd you grow up and how did you get into the position at the Intrigue?
Okay, well, I've been a magician my whole life, and I was born and raised in St. Paul, Minnesota. And in 1995, I met the girl of my dreams, and we did a show together at a theme park called Valley Fair. And roughly, we did some theme parks all over the country, mainly for Six Flags. And 2001, we got married, and right away, basically got the show of our dreams in Branson, Missouri. Made a jet,
Baby, I'm on it
all
with a
kinds of
bottle
cool
of wine and an old
stuff.
dirt road. Are you ready to go?
We found ourselves in Branson, Missouri from 2001 to present day. Performed a lot of shows around the country, but mainly in Branson, Missouri, out in Pigeon Forge for a year. Did a show with Tigers, and we had a monkey in our show for 17 years. And did cruise ships and all of that, but we were always working for somebody else.
Yeah.
And we celebrated our 1-year anniversary in this town called Eureka Springs, Arkansas. And it's like a mountaintop spa, Victorian town. Everything is Victorian. We've got 2 beautiful haunted hotels. One of them looks like the hotel from The Shining. And we were having dinner or breakfast in this dining room, and I thought this would be a great place to do a magic show. And then 10 years later, we ended up coming to the town and doing, and this was the first time we'd ever like self-produced. We produced shows before, but always we're answering to somebody else. This was the first time we were actually running our own business and everything. And so 2011, we came back to town and we got started there doing a show called Intrigue. My wife is, we both have always been enthralled with mysteries of ghosts and past life regression and any kind of intriguing things, phenomena that you've heard about but never actually fully witnessed. And what we did is we researched a lot of these mysteries, and then we crafted them into the show and tried to bring them to life and used people from the audience to do paranormal experiments. So the thing caught on, and then it was only after we started doing that for a couple of years that we started getting phone calls from like Penn and Teller and Masters of Illusion and America's Got Talent, and we're asked to come out and perform at the Magic Castle in Hollywood. I mean, it's not like we were new to the business, but it was like becoming. So we're in this building that's 110 years old. It's this old Gothic-looking chapel, and we basically renovated the inside to be like a Victorian, music hall or salon. It's very intriguing, beautiful chandeliers and the gaslight footlights at the edge of the stage. And this last year is the first year that we actually now have been able to create a proscenium that is like a giant TV screen with the opening of us in the middle, so it actually supports whatever storyline we're telling. And so, yeah, it's been a very gratifying 12-year journey.
And so you run this full-time year-round?
Yes. Yep.
Awesome. Very, 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 very cool.
I mean, when we got started in Eureka Springs, really it was just in June, July, and August, and maybe October, because we weren't established. But now we're the #1 attraction, #1 thing to do as per TripAdvisor. And so we're, when it's not as busy, we're still open on Fridays and Saturdays.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. Okay. So we're both performers, different types and different styles in that. What is it about live performance for you? Because you've done TV and you've done other things, but what is it about the live performance for you that draws you in?
Well, here's the thing. I've worked with a lot of acts where all they have is their 7-minute act, and it's very maybe television friendly, and they go out there and they do a beginning, middle, and an end all within 7 minutes, maybe 12 minutes at the most. And I feel like Are you kidding me? It takes 7 or 8 minutes just to say hello to the audience.
Right, right.
Or start a relationship, and maybe get my running gags in place. Like within the first 7 or 8 minutes of the show, I'm bending spoons, but I'm right in the audience, and I'm talking to the people, and I'm getting to know the people, especially the people that don't seem to clap as much as the rest. And I establish these relationships, because these are going to be like my cornerstone relationships that I'm going to build upon throughout the rest of the show. So for me, doing a live show it's like building a relationship with this group of people, and by the end, we're ready to all just pitch in and order a pizza, because we've got that kind of a feeling that we're all in this party together. And yeah, and I mean, just some of the callbacks and those relationships are, we just, and it's funny. I mean, I'm actually trying to remember 18 people's names, every night that I just meet, and it's like building a relationship. Live performance.
That's the best way I've ever heard it described in my life. And I think if every act, whether it be music, magic, performance of any type, adapted that philosophy, their career would do exactly what yours has done as it goes through. Let's talk a little bit about your theater. How many seats in your theater?
120. So it's intimate.
120. Do you utilize the theater for any other events when you're not performing yourself?
Well, we've started producing a second show, so that like when it's really busy in the summer, we can run 7 days a week without my wife having to do shows 7 days a week. So yeah, whatever shows we're doing, we don't like rent it out, but what we would be doing is we'd just be producing another show that would operate when we're not performing.
Yeah, no, fantastic. That's very, very cool. All right, let's have some fun with a couple of questions here. This one I'm going to like, and this because there's some obscurity to it, but I'm just gonna fluff this to you. As a kid, what was your favorite cartoon and why?
God, I can almost tell you what my least favorite cartoon was, but God, I don't remember. I mean, it might have been Batman or something like that, because I'm so much into gadgets. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Okay, so what was your least favorite?
Scooby-Doo. I just thought it was the dumbest commercial. Even as a little kid, I just couldn't wrap my head as far as.
And a magician saying that I think that will surprise people. Yeah. Because wait, was it like, let's analyze this for a second. Like, do you think there's a chance that because there was quote unquote mystery to it, but you figured it out so easy, or
I don't think there was enough there to even make me care about the story. It just seemed so stupid. Whereas, I mean, I loved Adam West as Batman as a kid too. I mean, I was just fascinated with that utility belt and all. They seem to have a gadget for every crisis that they ever got themselves into. James Bond too. I just love those gadgets, and I think a lot of magicians are like that. And it's why I'm now learning how to program microprocessors, and I've got 4 3D printers, and I design and print a lot of all my stuff. And so
no, that's exactly right. Okay, cool. Next question. Best live production show you've ever seen. It could be in any form of entertainment, from musicians to acrobats to whatever.
Oh, well, I saw Dra Leon. It was the Cirque du Soleil in a tent.
Yeah.
And that one blew my mind from a production standpoint, just sheer spectacle.
Okay.
And the live music and all of that. So a big fan of that. So yeah, I would say that the Cirque du Soleil stuff I was a big fan of for a long time, just from the sheer spectacle and the production of it.
Okay.
So many movie parts.
All right. Dead or alive, you could bring one act to your theater. And
wow.
Who would you bring?
Oh my God, that's a great question. I mean, maybe Harry Houdini, because I've done a couple of his escapes. I hung off the roof of the haunted hotel in Eureka Springs in a straitjacket, and I did the sealed milk can escape filled with water. Almost died during rehearsal on that one. So I mean, either that or Howard Thurston, which is a name you guys, your audience more
right. Oh, you hit the mute button. Hold on. Hey, Sean, hang on. We lost you. There you go. We got you on mute. I don't know what happened. Hey, Sean, we lost you somewhere. The last thing that I got from you was Howard Thurston.
I
There you go.
can't hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, but I couldn't earlier. I lost you at Howard Thurston.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can. Okay.
Yeah, so I lost you at Howard Thurston.
See here.
All right. How about now?
Yep, I still hear you.
You can hear me.
Yeah.
I apologize. I was hearing you through the speakers in my car.
Oh, I got you. That makes sense. Yeah, Bluetooth switched over. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so we lost you at Howard Thurston.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Tell you what, I apologize. Are you?
Oh, you're good. You're good. We'll figure it out. I'm trying to figure out where my chat's at.
Let's see. How about now?
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right. Are you going to be able to edit that out?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. So Howard Thurston was the most famous in the United States during the time of Harry Houdini, and I've read his books, and I feel like I have a lot in common with the same trajectory and the same path that his career had. And so, if I was able to have him come perform my theater, that would blow my mind.
Fantastic. Yeah, that would be awesome. How can people find out more about your theater and your show?
IntrigueTheater.com. My wife and I also have a online magazine called IntrigueJournal.com.
Okay.
And that's a lot of the stories that we've done the research for that end up being in our show.
Okay. Yeah. Very, very good. Well, I'm glad this turned out great. And I think you gave us some good advice that any performer that does live performances can utilize. So that's fantastic. So thank you very much.
Can I add one more thing?
Yeah.
I don't, for what it's worth. This is something that I realized only after I had my own theater and ran it for a couple of years. You know, I was doing a lot of corporate events, for like company Christmas parties and
sure
trade shows and events like that. Anyway, and that was like my bread and butter for many years before I had my own theater. And I didn't really realize what a drag it was doing a corporate event versus doing a ticketed audience. Because at a corporate event, one person decided what everybody was going to do that night. And it was either the company president or his secretary, and they booked me. And now I have to try and win over everybody in the room and let them know that I'm going to be worth their time and attention for the next 60 or 90 minutes. Whereas, and when you're at a theater, then they've all bought tickets for you to see you. They're a lot more, they've got respectful anticipation.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
And it's not as hard to win over the crowd because and I mean, I just had to figure that out myself. I just had that epiphany. I think it's because after doing the show in my theater, then going back and doing a couple corporate events, I remember standing back there in some kind of, hotel conference room, getting ready to go out there. And I'm just like, this sucks. I don't ever want to do this again. And this
yeah.
gigs that paid the best, and I would work so hard to try and book. And now that I'm in a theater that I run and operate, I could never, it'd be hard to do anything else.
Oh man, that's fantastic. That's good to hear. Absolutely. Sean, I'm glad things are going good for you and your wife, and thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you greatly.
My pleasure, Jake. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Well, baby, I'm on it with a bottle of wine and